City Zoo.
Hello, Maggie. I may be home a little late, babe. I'm expecting a long-distance call from London. Yeah, you know, on that 10 units of Gemini gold bonds.
Gold bonds?
The Gemini issue, remember? 10 units? Well, look, honey, they may be trying to get through to me now, and I gotta hang up, okay? Maggie, I love you.
I love you, too. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Mr. Jarrett.
Mr. Jarrett?
He had me climbing the walls.
All we've got on the Chicago flight is in first class, Mrs. Reston.
I'll take it.
You've only got 10 minutes till takeoff. That'll get you in Chicago at 9:30.
You know, she split before we got here. Must have been in a hell of a hurry because she left her link.
What about the safe?
The safe's empty. What's your pleasure?
The house. Burn it.
Anything else?
Find her.
He says to burn it.
It's a nice place.
It was.
I don't know what I should tell you or what I can tell you. I just need a place to stop and get my head together.
Well, you know you're always welcome here, Maggie.
Can you at least tell us if my brother's all right?
Marty, I can't. I don't know.
I'm gonna get my pipe. I'll be right back.
Look, just relax and don't think about anything, Maggie, okay? Drink your coffee. Hey, when was the last time you ate something? Well, I'm gonna make you some eggs. Thanks, Ann. Marty?
She's here.
You rotten.
Sure. Come to Marty when you're in trouble. You and Ben live the high life. You make a fortune working with the scum, and then you come to us when it blows up in your faces. What right have you to keep Annie and I in this kind of trouble? What right?
Okay, let's go.
No.
Come on.
No! Out! No!
Let's go.
Get out!
Let's go.
You bunch of savages!
Just take it easy. Come on.
You take it easy! It's not a cage! The wind of the world hates you pigs! I can't help it!
You know, he really is crazy.
Fact remains they used this knife on a young girl tonight.
Well, you get it ticketed and then book him. I know his statement's going to sound incoherent, but you take him down anyway. I'm going back upstairs and finish the paperwork.
Mike Stone?
Yes.
Maggie Jarris. Ben Jarris is my husband. Does that mean anything to you?
No. Is there something I can do for you?
Yeah. You can keep me alive and help me nail the people who killed my husband.
Sit down. Now, where did the murder happen?
Somewhere around Morristown, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Don't knock it, I was born there.
Now, why are you telling me this and not the New Jersey police?
Because I had to run for my life. Anyway, I don't know who specifically or why. I wasn't there.
Then how can you be so sure that he was killed?
Because he didn't come home. He called. They had our phone tapped, you see, and we had a code worked out. The key words were gold bonds. Gold meant lay a false trail to Paris. Bonds meant big trouble.
Look, it's almost 3:30 in the morning. Tomorrow I'll put out a missing persons.
Listen to me, he's dead, I know it. That's how they operate.
Who are they?
The gangsters my husband works for. I mean, you know how organized crime deals with employees who goof.
Can you give me names?
Oh, sure can. Leon Kober, Herman Small, George Anselm. Any one of them could have killed him. You see, my husband is a lawyer and financial consultant. He invests money for people who get it from gambling, prostitution, counterfeiting. If it's illegal, you name it, they're in it. He must have made a mistake of some kind.
And for that they wanted to kill you?
Lieutenant, I'm not paranoid and I'm not punchy. I'm in trouble because I was Ben's private secretary. I know too much. Believe what I tell you. Okay. About a year ago, you got a package in the mail with $25,000 in it, right?
Go on.
The package was followed by a phone call inviting you to spend the money and lay off a dope dealer named Fred Charney. Instead of which you turned it in and arrested him. Correct so far?
So far.
Then they tried to threaten you and bust you up. Now, although you're still poor, you're also still walking around. That marked you heavy and honest for the people Ben works with, and they backed off. That's why I thought I could trust you. Why I'm here. Not saying there aren't honest cops around, I just wasn't sure of anybody else.
Kerlocks. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had
That's all
somebody
right.
here.
Come on in. This is my partner, Dan Robbins, and this is Mrs.
McCluskey.
Well, if we're going to be any help to you, you're going to have to trust us, both of us.
I don't have any reason to trust him. Not with my life.
I trust him with mine.
Okay, maybe I am getting a little paranoid.
Well, she believes that her husband was murdered and that her own life is in jeopardy. And her name is Jarris, Mrs. Jarris.
And he thinks I'm a cuckoo who's dishing out some of the old magoo to get a little attention. I'm not. In the last 4 years, my husband has laundered and invested over $640 million in racket money.
640 million.
Give or take a few $100,000. Guess now you don't know whether to send for the Marines or a couple of guys in white coats. Look, why don't we quit dancing and let me prove I'm worth saving?
Now, wait, now look, I called and I told you that she was here, right? Now, why wouldn't I tell you where she went if I knew?
Yeah. I guess you would have told us right now, right?
Yeah.
She just grabbed her suitcase and ran out. Well, it's the truth. We don't know where she went.
Well, I guess I have to apologize for the inconvenience I've caused both of you and ask you to take us both to the airport.
Well, sure. I'll take you.
Both of you.
Well, what does my wife have to go?
So both of you.
What else do you know about Ray Andridge?
Friend of yours, used to be a DA, now works sub rosa as a special prosecutor, investigating corporate cover-ups for organized crime on the West Coast. Well, he won't admit it. And he's not going to like having to change the combination on his office safe either.
Mike,
I just want to ask you a question, Ray.
at 4:30 in the morning?
That's what you get for having an unlisted telephone number. Does this make any sense to you? 16 left, twice around to 38, then back to 0.
Where did you get that?
Your office safe.
Yeah, but where did you come up
Better
with it?
question is, where did my source get it? I'll call you in the morning.
It is morning.
Later. Go back and get some sleep.
How can I get some sleep when I know we've been blown?
Find the leak.
Well, here we are. This is my house. On this shorter notice, it's the only place I knew that was safe. Okay with you?
I don't do windows or ironing.
Mrs. Jarrett, how did you know that combination?
Ben made it a habit to listen, pick up pieces of information we could use if we had to prove our credibility quick.
Well, you proved it by me. I'll get things started first thing in the morning. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Hey, you really are an old hand at this, aren't you?
Believe it.
Look, nobody knows you're in San Francisco, and nobody knows you're here, so why don't you accept that fact, and maybe you'll sleep better.
I plan to do that if I don't pass out first. Where do I sleep? Thanks, Mike. Oh, and the only thing to do with me in the morning is stay clear till I've had my coffee. Good night.
Good night.
What time is it?
7:30.
7:30. You get any sleep?
Enough? Juice?
Would you mind if I cook the eggs? I'd like to get even with you for this coffee. So, whose room did I sleep in, or shouldn't I ask?
Well, that was my daughter's room.
Oh, yeah, I saw a picture. Pretty girl. Ben wanted kids. I couldn't have them. Damn shame. Hope you like scrambled.
Fine.
I'm trying to start talking to you, Mike, and I'm not making it. Why don't you ask me some more questions?
We can do that later, Mrs. Jarvis.
Mike, I've slept in your house, I've knocked your coffee, and I'm cooking your breakfast. I should at least be Maggie by now, no?
All right, Maggie.
So, what happens now?
First, we'll pump you for all the information we can get on mob infiltration into San Francisco. And since I think it's important information, important enough for the federal authorities, I placed a call into a federal attorney friend of mine.
You sure you can trust him? Okay, Mike. I don't handle fear and panic very well. I'm trying. Wish it would rain. I always hang together better when it's raining. So what about this federal attorney?
He'll take you into his custody and get all the information he can. And then you'll just have to make a deal with the government. You might go on trial, or they can give you a whole new identity. Maybe even a new face if you wanted it. After that, it's all over.
I won't last that long.
Don't worry. Take it easy. Just my partner.
Morning, Mrs. Jarvis.
Maggie.
Maggie.
What did you find out?
I woke Crowley up.
Who's Crowley?
Well, he's head of our organized crime and intelligence unit.
He met me at the office, and we made our connection through OC&I, as you suggested. Mike, maybe we should,
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm a big girl. Frightened, but all grown up. Whatever you found out, I want to hear it.
There's an all points out in Jersey for Maggie and her husband.
What's the charge?
Nothing. Both their house and office were torched. Completely gutted.
Oh, my God.
And what word have you got on Ben Jarvis?
Nothing.
Hello. Who happened to make the call to Jersey?
Crowley talked to the state police. I talked to Morristown to follow up on the fires.
Well, maybe it would have been better if he had done both.
Well, you wanted me here with the information by 7:45. There wasn't enough time.
You get your things together. We've got to get you out of here.
How could they know she was here?
Well, if they had a plant in that New Jersey Police Department, it would take them 30 seconds to find out who you are, who your partner is. And since we don't belong to organized crime intelligence, well, you made the call. It's obvious. Maggie's with us. We're going to have to move her to one of our safe houses. That'll take about, 3 security units. I'll go downtown and take care of that. You keep her isolated until you hear from me. You got a beeper on you?
Yeah.
Good. Wait for my signal.
If you got an extra deck of cards, I'd like to borrow them.
Sure. Here. Got anything on Ben Jarvis?
Zip. But we did find out something. We got some static about some high-priced hitmen converging on the area.
Figures. See if your contacts can get us names and locations of all the imported talent. And listen, Ed, there's got to be a tight lid on this one. Need-to-know basis only.
Including my staff?
And mine. Once you interrogate my witness, you'll know the reason why.
Lieutenant, telephoto just came up for you.
Oh, my God.
Now do you buy my tight lid?
You got it.
Thanks a lot.
How scared do you think you'd get if you knew somebody out there wanted to kill you?
Why don't you tell me about Morristown and Ben?
You trying to distract me?
Yeah.
Well, you picked the right thing. Ben. Went to law school, came out top 5th of his class. Somewhere along the way, he met a shy, demure loudmouth who fell crazy in love with him, seduced him, and married him. I was in show business. Wardrobe mistress, no ambition. Happy to carry a shovel and broom and follow the elephants. Then Ben came along and snatched away my unpromising career and turned me into the best-loved woman in the world.
Sounds as though you don't like him much.
How can you like someone who lets you do whatever you want, loves you with his whole heart, respects you enough to disagree with you, and really listens to what you say?
That doesn't sound like the kind of man who spends his life working for racketeers.
Why not? Ben's a good man, but he's not perfect. He makes mistakes. And he made one doozy when he went to work for them. I'd like to tell you they forced him into it, but they didn't. One day, 2 men came to his office and invited him to invest $3 million in their behalf. $3 million. The conditions told him the money was dirty, but I don't have to say any more, do I?
You seduced him?
Hell no. He seduced himself. He knew it, and I knew it, and we lived with it. Up until right now. Where's that boat going, do you think?
It goes around the bay, and it goes around again.
Dull way for the crew to make a living. Look who's talking. Nobody wants to shoot them.
Now, I understand you're all here because you volunteered for hazardous duty. Or is there someone here who didn't? Good. Now, what I've got is an extremely valuable witness who needs protection. We're going to work in pairs, and this witness will be moved at irregular intervals, and you won't know where or when until the final minute, just before the move is made. Are there any questions so far?
Yeah, what makes this hazardous duty, Lieutenant?
Well, we've got one man missing already in Jersey, believed dead. 10 minutes ago, I got this from the Chicago Police Department. It's registered to the witness's brother-in-law. And as far as we know, the brother-in-law and his wife are missing. Now, the price on our witness's head is high enough, and I mean really high enough, to make every low-life worm and hitman try to collect it. That's why I'm calling it hazardous duty. It really is, fellas. Are there any other questions? All right, that's it then. You're all on standby.
After my first day in the world of finance, I realized more time is spent waiting around doing nothing than working. And I figured in the last 13 years, I've won 634 hands of solitaire. Is it hands or games?
Games, I think. That's Mike. Let's go.
These are pictures of the local pros who might be involved in this. This group is of the hitmen who came into town yesterday. There probably are more.
I don't recognize any of them.
I don't either.
Homicide Stone.
Mike, this is Dan.
Six.
I read you.
That was short.
All he had to do was give me a number.
Hey, you booked the numbers? I'll play 862 for Buck.
No, this is a key number. Each key is to a safe house. He said 6. We'll meet him at number 6.
Stone's the one driving.
So how much does it cost?
You know the bit about why Johnny can't read? That's my kid. 12 years old, reads like a second grader. Now I gotta hire a tutor for him on my salary.
And there's a car following us. Better make sure. No mistake. He's still there. Inspectors 8-1 request backup unit. Any unmarked car within the vicinity of 8th and Charles. Proceeding west on Charles. Hold it. Hold up! Come on! Out! Where's your wallet? What's your name? What's your name? All right, take them both in. Then report to Lieutenant Crowley. Tell him I picked him up for vagrancy. He'll understand. Take him in. Come on, let's go.
Hey, guys, could you speed it up a little between knocks? A person could faint from the suspense. What's the matter? You heard something about Ben.
No, it's nothing about Ben. It's your brother-in-law and his wife. Now, you said you wanted the cards straight up. I know it's rough, but... Nobody knows this number.
Could be the phone company or a wrong number.
Or I got suckered. There were two unarmed apes following us, easy to spot, too easy. We busted them, and then I came straight here. That was my mistake. There could have been a second car.
Why don't we answer it and find out?
No, there's no need for that. Where's your car?
It's right up front.
All right, you go to it. See if you can spot anyone watching the building. Then get in your car, drive it into the garage, and park it right next to mine. If anybody's watching this building, they're gonna have to guess which car Maggie's gonna be driven out in. I want you two to check out the garage. Here, start my car. I'm gonna give you a 30-second lead. Maggie, don't you worry about a thing. You've got a small army taking care of you. Everything's gonna be all right. Maggie?
Folding up like a wet tissue. What's the matter with me? Where to?
Maggie, get in. Lie down.
Haven's hip and shoulder are broken. Some burns, cuts, bruises.
Is he gonna be all right?
Yeah, Dan's on his way in.
What about the bomb squad?
They're already here. They figure it must have been some kind of plastic explosive. No guess yet as to how it was wired up.
Well, you stay there with them.
Yes, sir.
Well, what are you doing here?
Just thought you'd like to know, Mike. Right after I changed the combination on my safe, one of our deputy prosecutors went to lunch and never came back. We checked. He took a plane to Rio.
Good. Now maybe that leak is plugged.
It was worth an in-person thank you, Mike, so, thank you. Oh, Mike, do I ever get to hear more about your source?
Later. Right now, I've got my witness under deep cover.
Right.
Excuse me. Sure. Yes.
About those two, neither one of them have given us their names or even contacted their lawyers. Now, we got a make on the gray-haired one. He's Louis Pard from Newark. 9 arrests, no convictions. Here's his file. He doesn't know we know about him yet.
What about the other man?
Nothing. FBI came up with nothing at all. Not even a military ID. We're checking on all DMVs who require thumbprints for their driver's registration.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ed.
They're all yours, Mike.
Homicide, Stone. Who am I talking to? Just a minute. Wait till I get a pad and pencil. All right, I'm ready. When? Who do I look for? Now, that was someone who says he can tell me everything I want to know about Ben Jarris. Wants me to meet him at 3:30.
You going?
That depends on what we can get out of those two guys first. Come on. All right, bring them in here. You take one of them and I'll take the other one. Come on, sit down. Well, I understand you've got a couple of big secrets, like who you are and where you came from.
I'm not sure what your routine is, mister. Maybe you can help me. Are you trying to convince us that you can't speak? Is it that you can't hear or speak? That's a no-no. I'm opposed to garbaging up the air any more than it is. Now, why don't you just tell me your name?
No answers to the questions. All right. Maybe I can help you. Your name is Louis Pard, and you came from Newark.
I'm getting nothing.
Neither am I.
What they're doing may not be so stupid, Mike. You didn't find any weapons on these guys, and we have no charge to lay against them. So unless they turn out to be wanted somewhere else, we're just gonna have to turn them loose without them...
Wait a minute now. Why do you say that?
What are we gonna hold them on?
Let me ask you something. Would you consider a man who doesn't know his name mentally competent to be turned out into the street?
No, I wouldn't.
So what would you do?
Notify the courts.
Uh-huh. Now you're cooking. And the court sends him to a state hospital for observation for 30 days. No bail possible. They're off the streets under maximum security for a whole month. You know, it's the first time I've ever seen a man talk himself into a hole by not opening his mouth. Warms the cockles of your heart, doesn't it?
My family wasn't that rich. We couldn't afford cockles.
Oh, well, trust me. If you could have, they would have been warm. Why don't you get Sekulovich to do the paperwork on those guys? I've got to get to the parking lot. I got to pick up Crowley. I'll meet you there. Okay. Which one, Bob?
Oh, this is your car, Lieutenant.
Good, thanks. No, wait a minute. Do you have another car ready to go?
Anything wrong with this one, sir?
No, nothing's wrong. I just wondered if you had another one ready to go.
Sure, any one of these. Take your pick. They're all tuned, ready to go.
I'll take that one. Sign me out for that one over there.
Yes, sir, Bob.
That's Ben. George Anselm. He's a lawyer from Rhode Island, an expert on foreign exchange agreements. Where'd you get these pictures?
The Bureau.
Ben, George, and Leon Kober. Only times Ben and I ever saw Leon was when there was a lot of money involved. Never less than $3 million. Remember I was telling you about the Tevrex Corporation on Market Street? Well, they launder all their money out there. That's the man who runs the whole shebang, and I can prove it.
How?
Copies of contracts, deed transfers, checks. I've got it all on slides, copies of every document we ever handled. Ben took the pictures and developed them himself. The originals are in a vault in Switzerland.
Where are your copies?
In my purse.
Copies of those would be a big help, Mrs. Jarvis.
That's why I brought them. Herman Small, Canadian timber broker. Only his next move is to acquire hotels and restaurants in San Francisco. Ben. The gal with him's his mistress. He was feeling real good that day. Told me the deal he had just closed made the two of us worth a cool $500,000. That's $500,000 the hard way.
Well, judging from what you just told us, in terms of what we know, you just saved us 5 years of tough investigation. And I doubt if we could turn up half that much even then.
I want them all in jail.
Maggie, I'd like it if you turn those slides over to him so that he can have copies made.
I gotta have them back.
I'll give them back to you in an hour.
Okay?
I thank you.
Maggie, I talked to my federal attorney friend, and he said he's flying in this afternoon to take you into his custody. And he also told me that he was going to give you immunity.
You must have put in a good word.
Nope, I did not one word. Dan, yeah. I want you to find a payphone, call Washington, confirm the pickup arrangements for Maggie, will you?
Right.
Oh, and listen, while you're at it, will you check on the special units?
Daniel, I wouldn't hate you if you brought back a big bottle of gin and a small bottle of vermouth. Well, where are you going?
616 West Grover Avenue.
What's there?
A man is there who says he can tell us everything we want to know about Ben.
I'm going with you.
No, no chance.
Why not?
Because I think it's a setup. I just don't know what kind. And I've already pulled one boner. So you stay right here.
No sweat, Lieutenant. Myra and I are wide awake.
I'll make sure you stay that way. Keep the door shut and your ears open.
Mike, no matter what happens, you tell it to me straight.
That's our deal. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay, guys, which one of you is a better gin player?
I am. Myra's an honest man. I cheat.
Marvelous. So do I. I'll deal. To throw an ace. Doesn't fit my hand.
Well, that's all right, Mrs. J. It doesn't fit my hand either.
Inspector 8-1 to all special units. I am at contact point. Be alert. Ben Jarris?
Who are you?
Mike Stone.
Stone, there are 2 or 3 gunmen watching us from some of these buildings.
Which ones?
I don't know. You didn't even look.
Am I supposed to?
How's Maggie?
She thinks you're dead.
I am. Poor Maggie. She's probably torn to bits, scared out of her wits.
No, she's holding on.
Yeah, sure, cracking wise. Well, that's just the front, Lieutenant. Underneath, she's all marshmallow.
How did you get to San Francisco?
They brought me private plane. I don't know who the 2 men who were brought me.
Do you know why?
Well, in case they needed a Judas goat to get to Maggie. I'd have been dumped in a swamp if she hadn't run. That was my reprieve. There was a foul up in what should have been a pretty safe business deal. A lot of money was lost, and the whole mess came down on me, so they grabbed me. Thank God Maggie had sense enough to follow the plan.
Look, we've been standing around here too long. What is it you're supposed to do?
Well, either get you to bring Maggie somewhere to meet me, or get you to bring me to Maggie.
They won't start shooting at you when you climb into the car?
Well, that's what they said.
All right, this is my car right here. Come on, let's go.
No, Stone. I'm not going to lead them to Maggie. They'll kill her, too. You know what they tried to sell me? That they only wanted to get Maggie and me out of the country with a guarantee that we'd keep our mouths shut. They knew I wouldn't go for it. But they went along anyway, thinking that I'd buy some time, then try to save myself.
Doesn't sound like a bad plan after all. You just do what I tell you. Come on, let's go.
No. They're not going to get to her because of me. Look, I'm only here to tell you they don't know anything about the slides that Maggie has with her.
What else?
Also, that she should know that they've begun to divest themselves from the business, get out from under. They've even hired another lawyer from Pittsburgh to take over our job. I don't know who he is, but I do know that the last 3 digits in his phone number are 443.
The only chance for you to stay alive is to do what I tell you.
Now, there's no chance for me to stay alive. No chance at all. If I run... What is it?
It's Maggie. Don't look now, but it's... I told you not
Oh,
to.
my God, Maggie.
Come.
Dear God, Ben!
Wait, Ben! Calm down, I said. Take it easy now. Take it easy. I'll get him for you. Over there! Maggie! Maggie!
Leave him alone! Leave him alone! Don't hurt him anymore! Leave him alone! Oh, Ben! Oh, Ben! Ben, don't leave me, please. Please, babe. We got $500,000. What good's it gonna do us now? Please don't leave me.
Hello, John. Mike. Maggie Jarris. John Mandela.
Okay.
And my partner, Inspector Robbins.
Well, whenever you're ready to go.
Go where?
Washington, D.C., okay?
Well,
With John and his people, you'll be well protected. Better than well protected.
When it's all over, you get a new name, a new identity.
and plastic surgery. Sure, I know the whole McGilla. Come on, Dan. Odds are it won't last long enough to need a new name and face.
No, don't say that. I've known John for a long, long time. My buck says that you're wrong.
You're asking me to bet against myself?
And I only bet on sure things. Am I on?
Sure. A year from today, Mike, if you get a buck in the mail with no return address on it, you'll know I made it. And I'll tell you how I'm going to collect if you lose. If I'm not around, then you take that buck and buy yourself a very dry martini with it. And as you're drinking it, remember that even if it's the worst martini ever made, it's a damn sight better than your coffee. Deal?
Deal.
Well, this is it.
Maggie?
Daniel, if you ever find a girl like Maggie, marry her. Good lady.
Virginia. Hi. Is my mom here? She'll be back in a minute. But there's someone waiting for her in the office. Oh, who? The guy who wears the greasy kid stuff on his head? This is the one that smiles all the time? Oh, him.
Hello, Mel. What are you doing here?
Hi, Mother. You said we were going to have lunch today.
But you have to wear that dress. Makes you look like a lump.
Mr. Stillman's waiting in your office.
Oh, all right. I can't have lunch today, Dumpling, but I can tomorrow.
Mother, don't call me Dumpling.
Why don't you do something about your hair?
What do you suggest?
What's on your mind, Jerry?
You?
Not the way you kissed me just now.
Well, if I thought you were going to grade me, I'd give you a great big hug.
Well, that would rate you about a C+. So what else is on your mind?
I'm in trouble, baby.
Somebody into your book for a big score?
No, I'm in someone else's book for some heavy action.
You're a bookie, Jerry. You shouldn't be playing the horses.
But it was a sure thing in the 5th race at Hollywood Park. He was 6 lengths ahead going into the stretch, and he fell down. He fell down! Jockey's still in the hospital. If I don't pay up, I could be in the next bed.
Are you asking me for money, Jerry?
Oh, hey, baby. When you need something, well, who do you go to? Your friends, right?
Well, you better go to your friends, because I wouldn't give you 5 cents.
Well, it's not 5 cents, honey. It's $50,000. Oh, but not all at once. 25 to start.
Well, you tell me what hospital, and I'll send flowers.
Jerry, I'll be by your place tonight to pick it up.
Oh! Mother! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Well, that last kiss ought to bring up my average to at least a B+. See you.
Jerry.
Hey, Prince.
How you doing?
Fine, fine. I was just gonna call you.
Yeah, well, if you hurry, you'll be late. We've been looking all over for you for weeks.
But you just haven't been looking in the right place now, have you?
Well, you see, your bill's overdue, Jerry. We're going to have a little talk. You understand.
Look, you're gonna get your money. Just tell Kid that it's in the works.
Wait, I'm not quite through with you yet. Well, you see, now he knows that. He just thought it might help if we gave you a little incentive. He's dead. Yeah, look. Get his keys. You help me get him in my car, and you follow in his. Come on. Hey, look, Ethan. Hey, you look. Just do it.
How long has he been dead?
Oh, rigor's well advanced. Considering the state of the weather, 14 to 16 hours.
Anything else?
Nothing you didn't see for yourself. He was shot in the chest at very close range, judging by the powder burns. Okay. I say you knew him?
Yeah, Stillman, Jerome Stillman. Used to run an independent book over at the old Imperial Hotel. Remember that one? Very quick to collect, but very slow to pay.
As though you won't lack for suspects.
That's right. Well, what do you got?
No cartridge case. There's a well-defined tire track at the edge of the road. You want a mold? Okay, I'll get a mold.
Whoa.
Well, don't everybody talk at once.
Well, things just got out of hand. We had no choice.
He owed me a lot of money, Ethan. How am I going to collect it from him now? Hire a medium.
Look, I didn't mean for it to happen, Frank. It was an accident.
Is that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
What's the matter with you?
Well, I don't like it, Mr. Kidd. I was hired to collect, not to go around.
You don't like it. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. But the next time I send you somewhere to collect, it'll be a lot easier. This kind of thing gets around. People like to stay healthy, so they pay up.
Can I go now?
Go. Worry about him.
Ah, he's an accessory.
He's a witness. And he's nervous.
Yeah? Where? All right, Mr. Green, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
You got a meeting?
Yep. With a man who might have something to gain by talking to us.
Who's that?
One of Stillman's competitors.
I got the ballistics report on the slug. From a 9mm automatic octagon rifle.
Good, come on.
You said 10 minutes. It's been 15. Tell your friend to take it easy.
You said you had something on Stillman.
His girlfriend. He worked her over the other day.
He wasn't scratched to death, Mr. Green. He was shot to death by a professional.
So she has enough money to buy him a funeral.
You got a name?
Julia Desmond.
It's a name even I recognize.
What about his book? Did he owe anybody?
Everybody. If I find anyone in particular, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
I'll take these 3 for now. It's fine, Virginia.
Mother?
Oh, if you came to have lunch, I can't make it today, Dumpling.
That's not why I'm here.
Wouldn't hurt your figure to skip a few lunches anyway.
I wanted to talk to you about Jerry Stillman.
Now listen, that is none of your business.
But Mother...
It's my private life and none of your business, so stay out of it.
I thought I was part of your private life, too.
Oh, don't play word games with me, Dumpling. You know what I mean.
Mother, please don't call me Dumpling.
Well, that's what you remind me of, darling. All soft and shapeless like a dumpling. Look at that hair. Call Mr. Joseph today and see if he can't do something about it.
Will you get off my back? You ride me like a broom.
Mrs. Desmond, I'm Lieutenant Stone, and this is Inspector Robbins. Could we talk to you, please?
Excuse me, this is my daughter, Melanie. Hello. Well, why don't we talk in my office?
I know, Mother. It's personal business. I'll wait here.
What can I do for you?
Mrs. Desmond, are you acquainted with a man named Jerry Stillman?
Yes. Well, you know, we met at parties and things. I heard about his murder on the radio. Terrible thing.
You knew him socially, then?
Socially, yes. Thank you.
And no better than that?
I don't understand.
Were you lovers?
Do I have to answer these questions?
No. You can go down to the station. You can call your lawyer.
You know that he had mob connections.
Jerry and I weren't in business. We were
close friends.
Close friends. Look, how much of this will get into the record? I don't want the newspapers to get a hold of it because, well, I don't particularly like to be humiliated in public.
We'll see to it that it's kept as quiet as possible.
Did you ever have a fight with him?
Of course, every now and again.
I mean, recently.
She didn't do it.
Melanie.
It was me, not her. I did it.
You did what?
I murdered Jerry Stillman.
All right, Miss Desmond.
Why don't you call me Mel?
And why don't you start at the beginning and tell me everything that happened?
Okay. I heard my mother scream, and I entered the office. Jerry was clutching her by her dress. The blue-green original, wasn't it, Mother?
Melanie, will you stop this?
I know what I'm doing, Mother.
I waited by Jerry's car upstairs, and when he came up, I told him if he didn't stay away from my mother, I'd kill him.
Lieutenant, I must object to this.
It's all right, Mr. Foster. They can't do anything to me anyway. I'm a juvenile.
Melanie, you don't know what you're saying.
Do I have to remain silent because he tells me to?
No.
Then I wish you'd just stay out of this. Anyway, Jerry reached out to push me out of his way, and I kicked him. He grabbed me by the shoulders, and he started shaking me. I reached out to grab him, and he had a gun under his coat. I grabbed it, and it went off.
How close were you to the gun when it went off?
Right up against him.
Did you see the kind it was?
No, it was just a gun.
Did you get a good look at it?
Yeah, afterwards.
Could you recognize it if you saw it again?
Sure.
And what did you do then?
I put the body in the car, and I drove it down by that cliff. And, oh, I remember, then I walked home.
You walked home. And what did you do with the gun?
Threw it over the cliff.
Come along with me.
Lieutenant.
Just routine. Come along. Now, I want you to point out the one that most resembles the gun that you used, okay?
No, really, Lieutenant.
Okay. It's this one.
What is it?
9mm automatic. The type that killed Stillman.
Ira?
It's all right. I'll have her writ 10 minutes after she's booked. She'll be released in your custody. As the lieutenant says, just routine.
Do you own a gun like that, Mrs. Desmond?
No, I don't have any gun.
What about your husband?
We're divorced. We don't even live together.
Daniel, take her downstairs.
Don't worry, Mother. Everything's gonna be just fine.
Well, she's out, released to her mother. You find a gun?
No, not yet. Somehow I'm not surprised.
Neither am I.
What's troubling you?
Same thing that's bugging you. Her story, it's all too easy, too pat.
She did point out that gun, though. Blood on the roof, 9mm cartridge. She didn't read all that in the papers.
Mike, Stillman and Mrs. Desmond had a fight. Suppose Mrs. Desmond shot him and Melanie saw it. Suppose she's trying to cover for her mother.
That's what we're both supposing.
Well, the thing is that I love my mother, and, well, I wouldn't want her to get into any kind of trouble.
No, I'll be terribly discreet. Now, you say Mr. Stillman and your mom were,
Lovers? Oh, yeah, he was her latest.
You mean there were others?
Oh, sure.
Do you remember their names?
Melanie? Melanie? I don't regret killing him at all.
Melanie!
Oh, Mother.
Who are you?
San Francisco Gazette, Mrs.
Get off the property. Go ahead and go. Go on now. Stop it. Are you out of your mind? Ira told you not to talk to anybody.
He's a lawyer, Mother. He's supposed to say that.
What did you say to that woman?
The truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Oh, sometimes I think they must have gotten the babies mixed up at the hospital and given me the wrong one. How could any child of mine be so
clumsy, inept, ungainly? Oh, I've got it, Mother. Discombobulated.
You're not funny.
And also, I'm not funny.
Melanie, stop it! I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to be sharp with you. It's just that...
I know.
Oh, my gloves. Have you seen my gloves?
No.
Oh, well. Well, I'll be back in about an hour. You be a good girl and don't talk to strangers.
Is he in? He's expecting me. Thank you.
Police officers on a point overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge. The murder weapon has not been
Frank,
found. As earlier reported, Miss Desmond, age 17, has admitted shooting the victim. Miss Desmond has since been released in the custody of her mother, well-known fashion designer Julia Desmond, pending further investigation. According to the coroner's office, the victim, Jerome Stillman...
Well, how about that for wild?
It's more than wild, Ethan. Think about it. That story that she told about what happened, she even picked out the right gun. Now, how could she know that unless she was there and saw it?
Okay, so she saw it. But why the confession?
I don't know. Maybe she has her own reasons. Whatever those reasons are, she could change her mind any time. And if she could describe the gun, she could describe you and Manning. I wouldn't like that.
You're reading my mind.
So, let Manning handle it. And he'll be involved as deeply as we are.
Frank, what if he won't do it?
I told you before, he's a potential witness.
You're late.
Couldn't get it started.
Figures.
Oh, hi. My mother's not here.
It doesn't matter. We wanted to see you.
Why?
Would you mind coming downstairs for a minute?
No.
Do you recognize that car?
Yeah, it looks like Jerry's.
We want to go over the incident step by step. Would you like to call your lawyer?
Why? He wasn't there when it happened.
Just for your own protection.
That's okay. I trust you.
And would you mind showing us exactly what happened?
Yeah. I waited by the car when Jerry came out of the stairwell, and I stopped him right about here. We talked, and then he grabbed me, and I grabbed the gun. It went off, and he fell.
How far from the car?
Right about here.
Now, you mean to say that you picked up a 180-pound man, and you carried him and put him in this car?
No, I remember now. No, he staggered a few steps, and then he fell right against this door.
Then you pushed him in the car, right? Got around, got in, and drove away.
Right.
Right. Okay, now the body's in the car. Now, why don't you show us how you drove away?
Just back it up.
I did it. What do you think, I'm lying?
That's right, we think you're lying. You've obviously never driven a porn stick shift before.
Well, I identified the gun, didn't I? How do you explain that?
We think you might have seen it in the murderer's hand.
Who are you trying to protect? Your mother?
Come on.
Where are you going?
Inside to look for the gun.
Well, you can't go in without a warrant.
Where are we going? Another collection. Another murder. You know, I'll say one thing for you. When you find a problem, you sure don't know how to let go of it. Yeah, that's my cross. You know, Kenneth, Mr. Kid's getting a little worried about you. Is that a fact? Yeah, that's a fact. He's not sure you have what it takes to go the distance. Look, I'll bust as many bones as he wants. But I'm damned if I kill a man. How about a woman?
No gun anywhere.
Maybe I've got something.
Well, what in the world? What is going on here?
They had a warrant, Mother. I couldn't stop them.
I want an explanation of this. I want it right now.
Are these your gloves?
How would I know? They might be. They look like mine. What happened to them?
Apparently someone tried to destroy it.
Well, why? I don't understand.
We were hoping you'd be able to tell us.
Do you seriously expect me to explain something that doesn't make any sense at all? Those are perfectly new gloves. Why would anybody on Earth possibly want to destroy them?
I could think of a couple of reasons, if I put my mind to it.
Like what?
Like bloodstains, like powder burns.
Maybe you'd better call your attorney, Mrs. Desmond.
Now, you see, if we can freeze the girl's confession, then the police have to accept it. And all we have to do is make it look like an accident or suicide. I don't like it. Look, we all have to do things we don't like. Not me. Not murder. Ah, come on, Kenneth. No! I don't want to even talk about it. You want somebody dead? Then you do it. I don't even want to hear it. Okay? Okay, look, if that's the way you feel about it, listen, I understand.
again. I don't know how the gloves got into the fireplace. I didn't put them there. Maybe Mel did.
Why?
I don't know.
What were you and Jerry Stillman arguing about the day he was killed?
Don't answer that, Julia.
I'm going to answer it. What good is not answering done? He wanted to borrow some money. I turned him down and he got mad.
How much money?
$50,000.
Did he tell you why he needed it?
He said he lost a bet.
To whom?
How would I know?
After your fight in the office.
It wasn't a fight. He slapped me and I wasn't about to slap him back.
All right. After he left your office, what did you do then?
I went home. I didn't feel very well.
Did you see him later?
No.
Are you sure he wasn't waiting for you outside your office?
She's already answered your question, Lieutenant. She said she didn't see him.
Bring her in. Miss Desmond, where did you go after you left your mother's office?
Do I have to answer that?
I don't think so.
She's no longer a suspect, Mr. Foster, but she may be a witness. If she doesn't answer, she could be charged for withholding evidence.
Where did you go?
Out in the hall. I don't know.
Did you see Jerry Stillman leave your mother's office?
I don't remember.
Did you see your mother leave the office?
I don't remember.
Now look here, young lady.
I'm not going to say anything against my mother, and you can't make me. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Get that arrow, please. Is there anything else you'd like to know, Lieutenant?
No, nothing else.
Am I under arrest?
No, you're not under arrest. But please don't try to make any plans to travel.
I wasn't planning any trips.
Julia?
Find our own way out, thank you.
That was your ex-husband on the phone.
Hank?
His lawyers have been in contact with the juvenile authorities. They've given him permission to come here and pick up Melanie. He's on his way over now.
You know, Daniel, we might be missing a bet. We're so busy trying to prove that she's lying that we might have forgotten that she could be telling us the truth, at least about part of it.
She still could have seen someone kill Stillman on that rooftop.
Yeah, which leads us right back to his gambling friends. Take the car back to the garage. I'll take these gloves into the lab, have them analyzed.
Want a bite?
I couldn't.
I shouldn't either, but I figure all I've been through, I deserve all the rewards I can get.
I think you're right.
You know, it's really wonderful just being with you. You don't make me feel fat and ugly.
Does she?
Well, you know her. How does she make you feel?
Grubby. I've missed you, Mel. And I've been worried about you.
Oh, don't be. I'm okay, really.
No, I don't mean just since the Stillman mess. I mean on a day-to-day basis. You see, I was never sure you could take the pounding. I was always afraid you might be a little too much like me.
You're probably right.
I wanted to take you when your mom and I first split up.
You did?
Uh-huh. But she loved you too. And besides, she had the clout.
Believe me, clout isn't everything.
Oh, now you tell me. Anyway, I'm ready to make the move. If you are.
You mean you want me to come and live with you?
Mm-hmm. Here is the key to the front door. And I'll see you later.
Daddy? It's a big move, and, well, there are a couple of loose ends with Mother that I want to see tied up first, so can I put it off for a little bit?
Oh, you take all the time you need. No, you keep them, just in case. When you're finished, we'll take a little walk.
Oh, I'm finished.
Are you? Honey, are you all right?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Crazy fool, he could have killed both of us. Probably some hothead.
The word I get is that Stillman owed Frank Kidd over $50,000.
And he's no man to welsh on.
Then you know him.
I know him.
Well, a couple of his boys were looking for Stillman a few days ago. Check on a guy named Manning.
Okay. And where do I reach you?
You can't.
Anything on the gloves?
No, no trace of blood, no nothing. Just a common, ordinary pair of burnt gloves.
All of this has got to lead somewhere.
Daniel, I have a feeling you and I have been snookered.
I don't get it. What's the point?
The point is that somebody's trying to make us believe that Mrs. Desmond is guilty of murder.
Mike, just got a phone call. Bernie wants you down at the morgue.
Why?
He just brought in another homicide, gunshot, and the bullet was a 9mm.
Good. Thank you.
Did Green say Manning worked for Kidd?
No, there's got to be a connection. The gun that killed Manning is the same gun that killed Stillman.
No witnesses in either case.
Yeah, like an instant replay.
Quite a coincidence. Two guys involved in underworld gambling killed in the past 48 hours. Sounds like a gang war going on.
Yeah, maybe we'd better ask Kidd.
Hi, Mom, I'm home.
In here. Thanks, I've seen it.
Seen what?
The story of my life. My very private life.
Makes interesting reading, doesn't it, Mother?
It's ugly and vicious and humiliating.
Well, you know more about it than I would. It's your private life.
Melanie.
Well, I must admit, the reporter did take a certain amount of literary license.
What on earth possessed you to tell her all those things?
Warts and wens and bad complexion. I'm just naturally ugly, Mother. And you've pointed that out to me on every opportunity, Mother. You've always told me it was for my own good. A person should be made aware of their faults and flaws and shortcomings. But we're all ugly, Mother, in one way or another. In your case, it just doesn't show. It's way down deep underneath all those clothes and cosmetics and nail polish. Jerry Stillman was a wart. Steve Bianco a pimple, and Dave what's-his-name bad complexion. They're your faults and flaws and shortcomings, Mother. And you're gonna have to deal with them sooner or later. You're gonna end up clumsy and ugly and lumpish, like me.
Why the newspapers? Why make it so public?
You've always corrected me in public, in front of customers and friends and strangers. You really are very insensitive, Mother.
You burned those gloves, didn't you?
Yes. And called the reporter.
This whole thing was a way to get even with me.
That's right, Mother.
You realize I could be sent to jail.
I wouldn't go that far. See, because I can stop it anytime I want to. Because I know who really did it. 2 men. One of them was just your type. 35, dark hair, hard eyes, had a scar down his left cheek. Oh, you would have loved him. He was just your type.
Mr. Kidd?
Yes?
San Francisco Police.
Oh, certainly. Should have recognized you by the feet. It's a little humor there. What can I do for you?
Well, you can start by telling us why Ken Manning was killed.
Manning killed? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Ken worked for me, you know. Oh, I'm heartsick about that.
And how heartsick are you about Jerry Stillman?
Oh, I knew Jerry, but we were never very close.
Jerry owe you any money when he died?
Money? No.
Never welched on a bet?
I don't bet. And I don't understand what Jerry Stillman's got to do with any of this anyway. You have his murderer, don't you?
We thought we had until Manning was killed.
What's the connection?
Well, the same weapon killed both victims. Our suspect could have killed Stillman, but she had an ironclad alibi about Manning.
So do I.
You do? Oh, that's funny. I didn't mention the time of death, did I?
No.
I didn't mention the time of death to you.
Doesn't matter. I've been in my office all day. Didn't even leave for lunch. You can ask my secretary.
You can count on him, Mr. Kidd.
Neil. Goodbye, Mother. Where are you going?
To my father's.
Just the thing for you. That was nice red clover tea.
No, thanks, not for me. Homicide, Stone.
Lieutenant? Oh, this is Julia Desmond.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Desmond.
It's about Melanie. She lied. The whole thing was a lie. She saw the murder. She was a witness.
Yeah, we know.
Then why didn't you do something?
Well, we thought she was lying to protect you.
It wasn't me. It was 2 men. One was about 35, dark, with a scar down his left cheek.
And what about the other man?
She didn't say.
Well, could I talk to her, please?
She's gone. She isn't here anymore.
Where did she go?
Her father's.
Could I have his address?
2310 Division Street.
2310 Division Street. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
I loaded records. They're running description to this computer right now.
All right, we'll pick it up on the way to the car. Come on.
John Woodall, 37, slight scar on the left cheek. Armed robbery, county jail awaiting trial. Lets him out. George Spelvin, 33, scars and other distinguishing marks. Bullet hole in left cheek. Doing 5 to 10 in Chino, forget him. Prince, Ethan Prince, record of simple assault, assault and battery, bookmaking, loan sharking, deep scar left cheek.
Bookmaking, loan sharking.
And strong-arm man. Stillman owed Kid money. Maybe Prince was sent to collect.
Pretty good for a guess.
Dad, are you here?
I got you. Just take it easy. It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, but you're going to have to come down to Bryan Street Station in the morning. That's where I'll take your statement.
I should have told you the truth in the beginning.
Would have saved us all a lot of trouble, Mel.
I guess I had to learn things the hard way.
Most people do.
Oh, Melanie. Oh, my baby, are you all right?
Yes, Mother, I'm fine.
You keep forgetting, Julie, she's not a baby anymore.
That's okay, Dad. Oh, I'm sorry, Mother. I wish I could undo everything and start all over again. But,
I feel the same way.
Oh, well, goodbye, everybody.
Good night, and thank you.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Why is it everybody has to learn the hard way?
Oh, I guess most children are naturally hard-headed.
I wasn't talking about children. I was talking about parents.
Well, did it ever occur to you that parents might know what is best for children?
Look, all I'm saying is being young doesn't always make you wrong. And being older doesn't always make you right.
You know, you're right. Even though you are young. Yeah, come on. I want to talk to Kid.
Oh
All units to 211 armored car at Blakely and Howard. Suspects last seen heading north on Blakely. Repeat, north on Blakely, riding motorcycles. One orange, one yellow. All units respond.
Hit it.
Repeat, north on Blakely, riding motorcycles. One orange, one yellow. All units respond.
4 boy, 111, in pursuit of 2 motorcycles. Believe suspects in 211. Boy, 111, suspects west on Strand.
Southwest on Lambeau. All units respond.
There he is. Are you all right?
Yeah, fine. I had that guy, you know that? I had him cold.
We didn't have a bad shot either till you bashed into us.
Me into you?
Well, we weren't moving.
He turned left going southeast on Brody. No, there's no chance. That's it, 10-4.
Yeah, but you were blocking the whole street.
Sure, trying to get the suspect.
Did anyone ever tell you that the man in pursuit has priority?
We didn't see you.
Well, all you had to do was look, Inspector.
Lieutenant.
Well, anyway, you made me lose him.
Why don't you drop it? You knew other cars would be involved. They give you a radio. Why don't you use it?
At 90 miles an hour. Look at this.
So? Huh? I'm looking. How much you think it's going to cost to fix that? Brand new. We just picked it up this morning.
You can't put a price tag on law enforcement, Lieutenant.
Don't forget to file a report. Hot dog, you can spot him a mile away.
It was just an accident, Mike. What are you so upset about?
Attitude, Dan, his attitude. He thinks he's going to solve this case all by himself. The rest of us are going to get in his way. He's a real hot dog.
Are you sure it's not because he put a dent in our new car?
Yeah, that too.
Did I do something wrong, officer?
Yes, ma'am.
What did I do?
I see your driver's license, please, ma'am. Take it out, please.
You still haven't told me what I did.
You made an illegal U-turn, ma'am.
I did?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's okay where I come from.
Where's that, ma'am?
Arizona. I'm going back to school there in a few days.
You have a California driver's license?
Yeah, I got it before I went to Arizona.
Yes, ma'am. But you understand and agree to abide by the laws of the state of California.
You're not going to give me a break, are you?
No, ma'am?
Even if I cried real tears and promised never to do it again?
No, ma'am.
Be careful, you almost smiled.
Let me give you some advice. Don't pay the ticket. Go to court and contest it.
You think I can beat it?
No. But it'll give me a chance to see you again. Would you object?
Well, I guess not.
What if I ask you to dinner?
Well, I don't know anything about you.
Well, I don't know anything about you either. That's why I ask you out, okay?
Okay.
Good. 6 o'clock tonight? Dinner.
Tonight? Well,
Is this where you live?
well, yes, but...
Good. See you at 6. Oh, by the way, I don't have a car, just a bike, so skirts are out. Good afternoon.
All the vehicles were reported stolen. That probably goes for the bikes, too.
So the armored car was cased to the nail. They picked this street and sandwiched it. The fire scare opened the back, and they escaped by motorcycles. Say, remind me to ask that hot dog if those bikes had any special racks on the back.
Lieutenant? This lady lives over there. During the commotion in the smoke, she saw a couple of bags go over the fence. Man jumped over, put them in a blue van, and took off.
Did you get a good look at the man?
No, he had a helmet on and some kind of a mask. It wasn't very big, but I did get part of his license number.
847.
I didn't get the letters.
Comb the area and see if anyone else saw that van. Thank you very much. Come on, let's put out an APB. We'll punch the central computer when we get back. If there's one common denominator among criminals, they never change a winning game. Now, what sticks out here is fire. They used it to make that heist work. Now, my guess is that if they used fire once before and were successful, they'll try it again. The computer will tell us. Say, what about that armored car driver?
Skull fracture, but he'll make it. The guard was DOA.
There's so little. Kill a man, just so he couldn't close the door. Jeannie!
Hi, Dad. Oh, I can't kiss you, and your dinner's on the stove. I'm going out.
Oh, to the opera or to a ball game?
I've got a date.
Oh, you got a date. Okay.
I called you at the office, but you weren't in.
No.
Tough day, huh?
Tough enough. What time's your date?
6 o'clock.
Anybody I know?
A guy.
What's his name?
Just somebody I met.
When?
This afternoon.
You met him this afternoon? You got a date with him already?
Well, sure.
How'd you meet him?
Well, we kind of ran into each other. Oh, would you get that? I'll be out in a second.
Well, hi there, Lieutenant. What are you doing here?
I live here.
Well, how about that? Mike Stone and Gene Stone. That's quite a coincidence. She ready?
Hi there. Come on in.
Hi.
Dad, I'd like you to meet...
Larry Wilson.
We've already met.
Yeah, we sort of ran into each other.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't have time to change. With all those damage reports I had to fill out, I got behind. But my apartment's just on the way, so I thought we'd stop by and I'll...
You could slip into something a little more comfortable.
Exactly. While Jean waits outside.
Outside?
Well, somebody's got to watch the bike. You ready?
Don't forget your dinner.
I won't. It's on the stove.
Good night, Lieutenant.
What was that all about?
I dented his car today.
The new one?
Mm-hmm.
You sure know how to win friends.
Tell me about it.
Funny.
What?
You're not what I expected.
And just what did you expect?
Oh, something in the way of a right-wing, ultra-conservative redneck with Gestapo overtones.
It's the uniform.
Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You've agreed to abide by the laws of the state of California, ma'am. You reminded me of a big blue robot.
Well, then why did you go out with me?
Because you smile. Robots don't smile.
I'll have to remember that.
Oh, you mean you don't do this all the time? Well, it goes like a well-oiled machine. The smile, the date, the little Italian restaurant.
Not true, and you know it. Besides, you're not the type to go for an easy smile and a cheap line.
Thank you, sir.
I'll tell you something else if you promise you won't tell. It's against regulations to ask a girl out on a date while you're giving her a ticket.
Well, then why did you?
Because you're leaving in 3 days.
Unfortunately, I have to get back to school.
What do you study?
The past.
History?
Archaeology. The science of moving dirt around to find out something about the people who moved the dirt before we moved it.
Sounds fascinating.
What it comes down to is digging a hole.
Why do you want to be an archaeologist?
Why do you want to be a cop?
Because you never know when you go to work in the morning what your day is going to be like. What's waiting for you out there. What you're going to find.
That's why I want to be an archaeologist.
Do you ever get used to these steps?
No, but we don't get a lot of salesmen, so they're good for something.
Next time I'll bring an oxygen, a bottle of brandy for a little nightcap.
Ah.
If there'll be a next time.
Dad, really?
I thought I heard something.
Yes, it was me gasping for air. Thank you for a very pleasant evening. I like your hair that way. Good night, Lieutenant.
Good night.
Good night.
I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. You're acting just like a father.
I am a father.
All right, then, a nervous father.
Yes, I'll admit to that. Especially when I saw you climb on the back end of that motorcycle.
Motorcycles are perfectly safe.
I didn't say they aren't. But I'm talking about the hot dog that's driving it. I'm familiar with his work.
You're just upset because he dented your car.
No, I'm upset because he didn't follow procedure. Because he didn't tell anyone he was in hot pursuit. And because he not only endangered his life, but he could have endangered somebody else's. Someday that... Listen to me. Someday that hot dog is going to fly over the high side, and he's going to paint himself on the pavement. And when he does, I don't want him to take you along with him. So you just stay off that motorcycle. And stay away from him.
This has nothing to do with you, or the police department, or procedures. It's between me and him. And don't forget to turn off the porch light before you go to bed.
Car washing, 16th.
Call in the print boys yet?
They're on their way.
them. Pull over.
You're right, it's him.
Hey, Lieutenant. I knew it was you when I saw the dent in the door.
Can't miss it, can you?
There's something I was going to tell you last night, but the porch light drove it right out of my head.
Okay, let's get to the point.
On that armored car robbery, what are you looking for?
We're working on an MO, fire, arson. We think that operation was so successful that they probably did it before somewhere.
You're looking for a biker.
Well, the fact that they all left on motorcycles, that's only part of the MO.
No, it's more than that. Those guys were good. Pros. The guy I was chasing racked twice, laid it down once, and never even came close to losing it on a jump. He was also wearing a motocross boot.
What?
It's a special biker's boot with a steel toe. He could really pivot on it. He's either a dirt racer or rides motocross. That's what you're looking for.
Thank you. Thank you, Officer Wilson, for taking time off your job and telling us all that.
Well, that's okay. I'm off duty anyway. I was on my way back to the station when I
saw the dent.
Could be right.
We can't put out an APB on a biker. We don't have that many policemen in San Francisco. Well, come on, don't just sit there. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Some guy, I don't know. He wore dark glasses and a hat. He paid cash. We don't look at the man. We look at the truck. See if there's any damage to it, you know? Look at the tires. See if it'll fit through the machine. He said he'd be back in half an hour. That was yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. No prints. It's clean, Mike. Really clean.
We do a good job. The people work for me are trained, you know?
Was the man wearing overalls the driver?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
We found a grease smudge on the brake pedal. Said the lab might be able to give us an analysis.
Did the lab say how long it would take?
No, but they knew you'd ask.
Come on.
See.
I need air.
Oh, if Dad could only see you.
I'll stick around.
Amazing. Everything fits. Where did you get these?
Out of my closet. Well, things you collect without ever really wanting to.
Oh, I see. You know, this is ridiculous.
Now listen, you can't be a serious biker. Just stay home.
Yes, sir.
That's better. Still a little early. Do you mind stopping by this place on the way?
No, not at all.
What can I do for you?
Looking for a guy. Thought maybe you might be able to help me.
What's his name?
I forgot. Oh, man, I was loaded and I just forgot. is down south in the Channel Islands motocross.
I was down for that one.
Okay, you know the joint on 101 just south of Big Sur coming back that Sunday night?
Don't remind me.
Right. Well, a guy there gave me 20 bucks and I want to pay him back. But I don't have the name. Tall dude. I really can't tell you what he looks like, but I rode with him for a while up the coast till he lost me. Could really lay it down. Even rode street with a steel toe.
That's Don. I'll bet on it.
Could be a million guys.
No, Don. I forget his last name. Hey, ask around. You'll find him. Hey, try Binky's. Okay?
Oh, okay, thanks. I'll do that. You going up to Eugene for the scramble?
Hey, I wouldn't miss it.
See you there.
You're amazing.
I hoped you wouldn't find out.
Hey, Roger, why don't you go sweep out the office, all right? I don't like you coming here.
Well, there's a guy over at Mella's, and he's asking questions about somebody with a hot shoe.
What do you look like?
Normal. Had a girl with him, but I think he's a cop. How are they gonna know anything?
Where's Don?
I don't know. I went over to his place. Landlady said he's been gone a couple of days.
All right, find him. Tell him to crawl in a hole and stay there until we let him out.
Yeah, okay. Now, this guy, you think he's gonna come around here asking questions?
If he's making the rounds, he is.
Why are you doing this? Looking for this Don character, I mean. Is it your job?
Technically, no. But what I do on my own is my business. Hang on.
What is it?
I think there's a robbery going on in that liquor store. Go to that phone booth over there and call the police. Tell them there's a 211 in progress. Officer needs assistance. Can you do that?
Sure. Yes, he's in there already, and they're shooting.
I'm a police officer. Put the gun on the counter and your hands in the air.
Not me! Now you stay where you are and she doesn't get hurt.
All right, that's it.
I need a doctor.
I gotta go down and file a report because of the shooting. Can you get home all right by yourself?
Sure.
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Jeannie. Jeannie. Are you all right?
Oh, sure, of course. I'm all right. But listen, they've taken Larry downtown.
He is a jerk. They ought to take him all the way to Siberia. I get a call on my radio. Hey, Mike, your daughter is backing up Larry Wilson in a shootout at a liquor store.
All I did was make one telephone call.
Sure, from a glass booth, right in the line of fire. 211 my foot. Did he tell you to say that?
Now, wait a minute. He went in that store
Without a backup.
He did what he had to do.
Maybe. Maybe, but what he did was very dangerous, and he put you right in the middle of it. Now, look. I want you to give me your word that you will never see him again. Your word. I want you to give me your word.
Mike, how'd the review board go?
Larry Wilson was sent back to duty without a reprimand.
Thought it was against regulations to fire when someone's got a hostage.
It was a judgment call. I voted in his favor.
A lot of trouble getting his records. How come?
The more you dislike a person, the tougher it is to be fair. What have you got there?
Computer readout.
That's not bad. 3 previous firebomb robberies. Bank in Seattle, armored car in Los Angeles. And a jewel heist right here in San Francisco.
But still no leads.
You know, if these jobs are done by the same outfit, and it's my guess they are, then we got pros, and pros are ex-cons, and cons have records. Say, let's talk to the jewelry store guy. Maybe he can come up with something. And what about the lab? They gonna make all that grease yet?
Not yet. They say it's exotic. They're working on it.
Exotic? Grease is grease.
Help you? Maybe. Looking for a guy. Name is Don. Where's the steel cap boot? I don't know any Don. Sorry. But you can put a card on the board in there if you want. A lot of people look at it. That's a good idea. If I don't find him, I'll do that.
Hello?
This Marty, where's Don?
Beats me. I looked everywhere for him. I heard he was down in Morro Bay.
The guy was here asking questions. If he ain't a cop, he's sure close. Look, go to Morro Bay. Find Don before somebody else does.
Yeah, okay.
Don't mess around, Buck. I've been at this a long time. There's heat out there. I can feel it.
There were 17, just like this one. Gone in less than 90 seconds. Traumatic. The jewel case was handcuffed to my wrist. You know, at first I thought, oh, God, they got to cut off my arm. But one of them had cutters. Severed the chain, only cut me right here, which certainly was a consolation, believe me. I still have dreams.
Then they ran across the street and jumped on motorcycles.
Yes, and that was that. I just sat on the curb and waited until the ambulance came.
You say they wore headgear and masks?
Correct. I had no way of identifying them.
What about clothes?
Sort of coveralls, nothing special. Oh, one of them was very dirty, greasy.
Shoes. What about shoes?
I don't remember.
Sneakers, moccasins, boots.
Boots. Yes. Funny, I did see when they were cutting the chain, I looked down. And there beyond my own arm was one boot. You know, at first I thought, oh, the poor man must be a cripple. He certainly ran well enough when he crossed the street. Yes. Strange boots with steel cups over the toes.
The biker's boot.
Your hot dog put his finger on it.
You're on time.
Well, don't look so surprised.
Thank you. How come you didn't want me to pick you up at your house?
It's chauvinistic. A man having to pick up a woman at her door is an archaic ritual. Like 50 years ago, a woman spending an evening alone with a man in his apartment would have been considered a fallen woman.
Just goes to show you how little things have changed in the last 50 years. You know what I think?
What?
I think it's because you didn't want your father to know that you were going out with me.
Well, if you're going to start reading my mind, I better leave right now.
I'm burning the water. Mm-hmm.
Larry, what's a hot dog?
A hot dog. That's something you eat at a baseball game, isn't it?
In police terminology.
A hot dog is someone who goes straight ahead, full speed. Doesn't look left, doesn't look right, doesn't look back. He just goes.
What's wrong with that?
Well, you might say that he doesn't always go by the book.
My dad doesn't want me to see you anymore.
Why is that? Because I'm a hot dog?
The classic father-daughter confrontation. But he can see this is the first time I've ever been serious about it. So now you know why all us stones have such tiny feet. So they can fit easily into our mouths.
Cheers.
Do you go to law school?
Uh-huh. Nights. I'm halfway through.
Well, you didn't say anything.
When I pass the bar, believe me, I'll tell the world.
Well, then what? Private practice?
No. Law enforcement all the way. I hope to end up behind the desk in the DA's office.
That's an ambitious dream.
No, not a dream. Dreams are things you never achieve.
Do you have any of those?
I'd like to have the fastest bike in the world and race on the Isle of Man.
Well, you could do that. That's not a dream.
And I win the race?
Okay, that's a dream. Anything else?
You.
What about me?
I think you're one of my dreams.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I'll be right down.
Who was it?
Gotta stop drinking so much coffee. It makes you nervous. How about trying some nice, fresh carrot juice?
Oh, no. I just went to bed late last night.
Something wrong?
Mm-mm. I was hooked on a late-night movie. Murder mystery. Who was on the phone?
The lab. They finished with the grease. I'll go get the report. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Dan. You busy?
No. Come on in.
I was in the neighborhood, and I thought I might be able to take you to lunch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow.
Well, I go back to school tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Time sure flies, doesn't it? How about dinner tonight? Just you and me. I know a quiet little place.
I can't, Mike. I have a date.
Okay. You win. Where would you like to have lunch?
You know, sooner or later, we're going to have to talk about him.
Now, you know how I feel about him.
Yeah, but you don't know how I feel. Dad, you don't even know him.
Yes, I do. Don't you think I checked? I asked at least a half a dozen people around here, and he is wrong for you.
Why?
Do you have any idea how many Larry Wilsons I've seen in my 24 years on the force? 50, maybe 100. And you know how many are left? Alive in one piece? Maybe a handful.
Well, I think he's better than you give him credit for.
Okay, Let's say that you're right. Let's say that he lives and he stays on the force. What then? Have you really thought about that? Married to a man who is never home when you need him. And your friends would be policemen and their wives because, well, the other people in the world, they're just a little nervous around us. And if you heard a car backfire or you heard something on the radio, your heart would stop a beat because you think it was him. You think he's lying there in an alley somewhere. And when he does come home, tired and angry and crazy because he had to help pull out the remains of 3 teenage kids from what was left of their father's car. Do you know what happens to the guts of a man who spends every day of his life sweeping up the world? Do you want to live like that?
My mother did. Dad, I understand what you're saying. And I know you have my best interests at heart. But if Larry Wilson asks me to marry him, I'm going to.
Mike, you available?
Yeah, what have you got?
I have the grease report. It's a special blend, which is what took them so long. It's made in Italy for racing motorcycles. Only 3 bike shops in San Francisco carry it.
Bikers?
Like the man said.
Let's go. Come on! Hey, fella. Can we talk to you for a minute? You sell,
Fantoni.
Fantoni, that special racing grease?
How many cans you want?
We just want a list of all the names of the people who bought it.
You gotta be kidding.
You don't have it, right?
No, I do. That's the funny part. Anything else in the shop? Receipts, no records, nothing. But that stuff, well, the guys that use it are pros. They're into it, you know? So I made a mailing list and I got the receipts.
Can we have these? I'll make copies and see you get them back.
I should say no.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could probably put together a list for you. Only about 10 people bought that stuff. Shouldn't be too hard.
We'd appreciate it. We'll drop back this afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
What is that? 2 down and 1 to go.
Boy 111, we have a 718, the corner of Allen and McKay.
4 boy 111, unable, M107.
Fantoni, that special racing grease. It's made in Italy.
Yeah, we have it. I'm pretty sure.
Sell a lot of it?
I guess so.
Well, listen, we want a list of all the people who bought that product. Can you give us that list?
We don't have any lists. You better come back later.
Why?
The boss will be here.
Okay, fine. Thanks. We'll be back later.
Thank you.
Marty. The police just came. I didn't know you were here.
No, that's all right. You go home now and I'll close up.
For the rest of the day?
Yeah, all day.
Well, thanks, Marty.
Okay.
I think we ought to check out the boss.
Yeah. Everybody else had a list to show us. You know, I don't think that fellow knows anything. Let's call for a stakeout. Inspectors 8-1 to headquarters.
Hey, did you see that? A biker's boot with a steel toe. Beat it! Cops! Come on! Go get him.
I'm all right.
Freeze! Get the sidewall. Get the feet back. Okay, let's go. Move! Move it!
Larry? Are you all right? Larry, can you hear me? Now, I know you're a good shot, but please, don't overdo it.
Hi.
About our tennis game.
You had us going. You really did.
Who's us?
Dad's here, too. He's running around out there, telling everybody you're 6 different kinds of a fool. But I think he's kind of proud of you.
He's right, you know.
You're 6 different kinds of a fool?
I am a hot dog. I only know how to handle things one way. Straight ahead and full speed.
That can get you killed, Larry. I don't think I could take it. Guess I'm not much for hospitals.
Rough, huh? Been having second thoughts?
Let's just say I've been thinking. Well, I think I like it best when you graduate from law school and get a job behind a nice, safe desk.
I've been having the same thoughts.
Am I a coward?
No. You're a real hot dog. Straight ahead and full speed.
Larry,
Don't look back.
Are you sure you don't want me to drive you?
no, I'll be all right.
Jean. Jeannie. Now, you know I have always wanted you to have the best of everything. I really have. And, well, I was wrong. I have no right to tell you who to fall in love with and who not to fall in love with. I just didn't want to see you get hurt. I've always wanted to see you happy.
Dad. Thanks. Larry and I have already decided not to see each other for a while. It had nothing to do with you, okay?
Why couldn't she have told me that before I made my little speech?
Would have been too easy.
Just like her mother. Always has to be right.
Yeah, she's sure not like her father.